Today represents a defining moment in Oregon's economy and history. For the first time, Oregon is taking destiny into its own hands and producing its own transportation fuels here in our state. Here's why that is important. Until today, our transportation needs, so vital to our way of life and our economy, have been almost 100% dependent on imported fuel and relied mostly on one kind of fuel, that being petroleum. Today, with the help of Pacific Ethanol's vision and investment in Oregon, our state has its first major transportation ethanol refinery, and we can begin the task of producing fuels here in Oregon instead of relying exclusively on imported petroleum. This plant opening also represents another major step forward in Oregon's efforts to combat global warming. For this is no ordinary fuel refinery. It is a biorefinery that will be producing fuels from renewable resources grown here in this country and from this state. In addition to helping us combat global warming and wean our state from oil addiction, plants like Pacific Ethanol create tangible economic benefits, from job creation to new tax revenues to lower fuel costs. This facility alone represents a $100 million investment in Oregon that will mean more than 200 construction jobs, followed by 40 full-time jobs for this community and hundreds of new jobs across our economy. And by taking the lead with plants like this one, we will help reduce the cost of gasoline to the consumer. That's because today, and certainly over the long haul, ethanol is and will continue to be cheaper than gasoline. By increasing fuel production and supply in Oregon, we can reduce the impact of price spikes that occur due to national and international markets. This day is especially significant to me because I put forward and signed into law this past session the legislation that changed and created the region's strongest fuel blending requirement. Our legislation requires that gasoline throughout the state must be blended with at least 10% ethanol. That blending requirement is triggered once our state has the capacity to produce 40 million gallons of ethanol a year. This facility will trigger that blending requirement by January 2008. This plate Now, this plant is a great example of how the private marketplace can step up to fulfill a vision that benefits the local economy and our global well-being.